it out in a way that we can do the Q&A as well as just kind of me randomly talking. We didn't get to have a YouTube stream today because the limitations on me being able to do my radio show and stream that from the room mixed with what was, you know, the video feed as well, just was overwhelming to the Wi-Fi at the hotel. So it just wasn't working. So I thought I'd follow it up with a Q&A with anybody who was watching and listening who had a point or a question that they want to add. So I'm going to start taking questions from you guys once everybody starts filing in. This is just kind of an intro to that. While we're waiting for folks to, you know, kind of join us, let me see if I can post this link real quick to Twitter, and we'll all learn a little bit about ourselves. The course of the story today ended up being, in some ways, over the show, a sort of element on the left that dismisses any victory by Barack Obama as sort of happenstance, accidental. It would have gone that way anyways, or it wasn't enough quickly enough, which I view largely as infantile and not realistic. But there you have it. Let's see, join me for a Q&A live now. There you go. Almost buffered it. That would have just showed up in a week and people would have been extremely confused. That being said, I mean, everybody's welcome to their opinion about, you know, Hillary versus Bernie versus Joe versus whomever else is running, Martin O'Malley. Like, that's not the point. You can get there without acting like if any of them get through, it's the end of the world, and, you know, buying into the sort of Fox mentality of, you know, motivation of voters through panic is essentially the way they roll. Let's see. I actually had there's a tweeter, Paula, who said it's not just attacks on her, it's also attacks on innocent tweeters who say they like both but prefer her. It's gotten bad. And I think there's an element of trolling that goes on that I think sort of a childish, like our own childlike reflex to criticism when we read it in print and the like, and the assumption that if somebody says they're for Bernie and they're, you know, slamming you for being for Hillary, that they really are for Bernie and not just a paid troll by the Heritage Foundation that's actually doing all these things. So that's the, you know, the main one. Hey, look at that. So EO, you've joined us. There you are. It's not really a question. It's that you've joined us, but here you are. Yes, this is true. All right, excellent. In the question and answer section, you can start. You can ask me questions and stuff. You know, it's not for kind of statements. That's just in the regular chat version of things. But I'm going to try and deal with specific questions that people have in the Q&A part of it. I mean, I'm new to this part of it anyway, so it's just really an attempt at getting it off the ground. But he's making the point that Black Lives Matter interrupted a Martin O'Malley rally. It's interesting to me, and Obama has had to deal with this quite a bit, is that basically groups on the left who ultimately are supported by the policies of the Democratic Party or the president himself, who either don't think he's gone far enough, quick enough, or don't think enough is being done, show up with an agenda to call out what hasn't been done yet, and aren't showing up at, per se, the Jeb Bush rallies and Trump necessarily, or if they do, they quite frankly, there's just no news about it. The reason that they do make some news when they show up to an O'Malley rally or a Clinton rally or something, largely is because they'll make news because there's a story there. But of course they're going to be slamming Trump and that crowd because from the perspective elected, that's the enemy and the person who, when they got in office, if they got in office, wouldn't do anything about it. So it's not surprising. Let's see. Nat is asking me, how's my day so far? Other than the fact that I wasn't able to stream the regular show, it was great. You know, been a fairly decent morning, I think. I got 2 shows tonight, which means I'm going to have to nap this afternoon to keep my work day when I'm touring. My noon is effectively 10 o'clock at night because of, you know, if you look at like your peak of productivity during the course of a day, when you're at work doing your particular job, it needs to be at the height of whatever activity you're doing mainly. And since I have 2 shows tonight, that's basically like mid zone right between the two. It's got to be like noon to me, which means sleeping in the afternoon till about 5 o'clock. If I get up to do radio, for example. If I don't, then I can sleep till noon, and then I have a regular day, and I just have to make sure I'm not winding down as I do a show. That's just the part of it, but they're all good. Vale Kinney has just joined. Awesome. So I hope that answers your question about how good it was. Did you hear about Bernie voting to protect the Minutemen? The People's View did a report on it last night. I didn't hear about that, but I will read up on it. I did not, but I will read up on it. Yeah. Here's the thing, especially on the left, you'd be hard pressed to not find a vote by Democrats, especially, that don't come across as liberal or libertarian when dealing with certain issues. You know, it was the Republicans who were fighting, you know, mainly, and this was back in the day, there was a little bit more to it then, but when you know, Larry Flint was advocating for pornography and the like, the allies that came out on a governmental level that were honest about it being a free speech issue ended up you know, being mostly Democratic. That's just the fact of it. You'll find a lot more Democrats open to fighting for the rights of people they don't agree with than the other way around. That's just the nature of it. Hello, Sky Jedi, David, what's happening?
I have a question about lab rats.
Okay, yeah, sure.
What season do you think it might end in?
I don't know. I mean, we're waiting right now to hear if we'll have a season 5. We're all hoping so. We all think so. There's no reason to think that we wouldn't, because we're literally doing better than anything on the network. So, and almost anything on the regular Disney Channel, quite frankly. So it'd be hard. You know, they're gonna have a hard time. I think Descendants they put out, they're trying to kind of capture a little bit of the success of Lab Rats by doing a show that's kind of like that. It's, you know, it's like a goofy X-Men-y kind of show. But that's where it's coming from. So hopefully, the honest thing is, as a performer, I don't know. If I had my druthers, we'd have 3 more years.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's a scratch from a stunt. There you go. Yeah, that's still there. That's still there. Still healing. Yeah. So there you go. And we'll continue to take questions. We got people joining in slowly. This is my first attempt at doing one of these. And especially in regards to using the question and answer aspect of things. So we shall see what we shall see.
I have a question too.
Okay, yeah.
What's it like to work with Tyrell, Kelly, Spencer, and Billy every day?
It's well, it's great, but it's different. Each one of them is a very distinct human being. You know, they're all they've all got different priorities, different focuses. You know, they all came in with different experiences. You know, Tyrell, in many ways, his family's like a new showbiz family because his brother was on Everybody Hates Chris and then The Walking Dead. His younger brother's doing TV as well now. They're, you know, the whole family, it's like they're a talented machine. They really know what they're doing. So he almost comes at it with a bit of history that the other kids don't. Billy, too. Billy'd been making movies since he was like 12. And if you'll notice, he's got top billing on the show amongst the kids, largely because that he has the most credits of anybody amongst the kid stars on the show. You know, Spencer's the oldest, so he's to some degree. The show isn't his demographic; it's just a different experience for him. And Kelly is interesting. For me is the most interesting because she came in so young and so not understanding the jokes in some ways. Like she just didn't get them. She was too young to understand the jokes she was making to perform. It's one thing to like watch a joke and laugh at it, but when you have to tell it, when you have to create the laugh yourself or the timing or any of those things, it's hard. It's, you know, it's hard to go, I don't quite know what you're getting at when you're that young. She learned faster and more completely than anybody in that regard. So I think she has a huge career ahead of her in that regard. Let me go to EO's because let's see. This is,
all right, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, bye. EO says, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Improv in Atlanta next month. Are you ready for it? I tweeted you my real photo, so hopefully you'll see me there. I did. I saw your photo, EO, and absolutely, it'll be me and Charlene May, and it'll be the first time I've done Atlanta without doing the Laughing Skull, which is this tiny little club, which I like very much, but it can only hold 80 people. And is you know, is in a very QAF friendly part of town. Let's just say. There you go. So yeah, it'll be good stuff. I have no doubt, and you'll be welcome with open arms. Just try not to yell during while you're watching. That'll be the tough part, I think. Yeah. All right. Let's see if Vale's just kind of hiding there, muted and back end. We've got a couple people lurking there. If you have a question, throw them up into the Q&A. This is really just me doing this on the fly to test the Q&A thing because I couldn't get it working, and now I can get it working. So la-di-da. First of all, well, let's see. So, mostly we're getting folks who want to know about lab rats, so I'll address a couple of those things right away. I won't tell you how the season ends because it kind of ends twice. We've got 2 huge episodes at the end of this season that are just extraordinary, and the amount of production that's going into them, they're like mini movies. I did a stunt for one of them that took 5 hours. That should give you some indication, considering our whole shoot day, we shoot the entire show in about somewhere between 10 to 12 hours. So to spend half of it, at least, you know, in a rig doing a stunt is pretty extraordinary. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see.
Have you ever gone to Reno?
What'd you say? Sorry?
Have you ever gone to Reno, Nevada?
I have been to Reno, Nevada. Absolutely. I have a dear friend who lives there part of the year. So and if I'm not, yeah, I think my buddy Richard is there. He's got a house up there. So I've yet to be at it. I mean, like when I visited with him, he was still in an apartment up there, but he's now like a permanent resident. So there's a club, I think, in Reno that I was thinking about doing, and then, you know, we could, I suppose at one point we're gonna have to start throwing together meet and greets around, you know, lab rats and the likes when I do towns like that, because it's just, you know, you guys are too young to go to the clubs where I'm performing stand-up, and rightly so, because it's a show for your parents, not for you. But that we should make that an available thing. And EO, as far as hanging out, it totally depends on whether I press the next day and all that kind of stuff. I always hang out after the show for a little bit. There you go. Okay. All right, this is from Rusa. Hi, Hal. What's your favorite place you've ever visited? I'm from Finland. I've never been to Finland, but I really want to go. That's a tough one because I love travel so much. And I'm not a beach person. I don't, you know, my girlfriend loves, like, relaxing on a beach, feet in the sand. She's from Florida originally, so she really likes that. That's her idea of relaxing. I loved Beijing when I was there. I spent a month there basically by myself, and I loved being there. I liked Taiwan a lot. Taiwan was terrific. I went to the three main cities there: Tainan, Taipei, and Taichung. Took the bullet train down it. Went to like tea farms in Taichung, where like the best oolong tea in the world comes from. Just really terrific. I loved London. I love, my son is named after Camden Town in London, because he's got his own city. I had great times in Germany and France. I've yet to go to. I'm taking my girl to Italy in August/September, depending on when she can get off from work. That'll be my first time going there. I haven't hit Finland, the Netherlands, Sweden, any of those areas yet. My aunt was from Belgium. She passed away a couple years ago, but my sister went on a trip to Belgium with my cousins when she was young, and I was supposed to go like the next year, and I never got to go. So I'm going to make a route down and visit family that I have in Belgium at some point too. So that I would love to hit Finland, and any suggestions are completely welcome. Okay, let's go to. Oh, hold on one second. My girlfriend's FaceTiming me. I've got as much video flying around as one could possibly hope for. Hi, were your ears burning? I was talking about you on video chat.
Oh, no.
I'm doing a chat post show.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're off camera. Don't worry. Yeah. Anyways, I love you. I'll call you right back in a minute. I'm just answering some questions, and then I'll be right up or whatever. My girl and I usually talk right after I finish radio, so she often gets worried if I vanish. I love you. I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. Bye. Bye. So, okay, another question coming up. By the way, if Disney asked you to go to the Gulf Islands water park, I'm going to start laughing because they sent one of your co-stars to Gulfport, Mississippi. Oh yeah, well, that won't be surprising. I'll tour. They don't tend to ask the grown-ups to do the touring. They somehow think we're not important to the audience. Disney tends to think that like all the kids watching care about are the other kids that are on the show. So they think the kids aren't interested in me and Perry and meeting Jeremy, who plays Douglas, and Crane and the like. They figure you don't want to see us. You just want to see the kids. But that's the part of it. This is from Chris Spangler. What's your favorite part of filming Lab Rats? That's a tough one. I like the episodes that I direct and I'm in, because I like doing both at the same time. I love pitching jokes, because I make up jokes and I ask the executives and the writers if I can say them, and and they let me improvise some stuff on occasion. That's super fun. And it's after an experience that I've had on another show where you weren't allowed to improv or change the script at all. That was a huge deal. That was a huge deal for me. So to be trusted to make a joke and present a joke is a really beautiful thing, because I'm a writer as well, but as a comedian and as a performer, sometimes we'll be in the moment and I'll come up with a joke and I'll go, can I try this instead? And they're totally open and they're terrific about it. So that would be my favorite part of it overall, is just being able to just freely joke. All right, I'm going to sign off and go. Any last questions? I'm going to sign off and go see my girl, and then go have a cup of coffee, and then go see a little bit of Seattle since my last day here. I'm actually going to go to the very first Starbucks ever, which is downtown in Seattle, and do a little video cast from there as well. So anyways, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the questions. This will post on my YouTube page as well, so link it and like it and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Pass that along, and there'll be more videos from Jeremy, who plays Douglas on Lab Rats, and I talking about what it's like to act on the show, what the scripts are like, what the sets are like, what the behind the scenes aspect of it is. There's a lot of videos like that coming out on my YouTube channel, so I'll post those there. And then I'm going to try and get Jeremy to sit down and do a hangout like this as well. So anyways, you guys are great, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Cheers. See you later.